will you come get him? I'm worried about what he's getting into. He's not going to come just on a call. He's like buried. Oh, there we go. Okay, he's going to go to you. Go get him. Hello friends, my name is Shayla and I am back with my manga haul for you. Now, I've gone a little crazy this quarter. This is the biggest manga haul I've ever done. And we're not only doing my physical volumes, we are doing my digital volumes in this haul. I counted them. I hate to admit it, because I never thought I'd do this, but here I am. We're talking over 100 volumes of manga in 3 months. It's insane. It's intense. I'm definitely going to be scaling back here soon, because that was a lot. Granted, it was almost all of this was paid for in cash, so I don't feel guilty necessarily, but I know it's excessive and I want to scale back on that because I'm not okay with how excessive this is. Now that I've got it all in a pile, I'm not okay. So I will be scaling back in future, so know that they will not be this long in the future. So let's start with the digital manga that I've picked up in the last quarter. We're just going to go alphabetically because that's how they are in my app, so that's just how we're going to do it. So I picked up Beware the Kamiki Brothers. I picked up all 6 volumes of this that are out. This is a step-sibling romance, and I really loved the first volume. I got all of these on sale, so I didn't even pay full price for all of these, and I'm really excited to continue on with it. I will be continuing on with it in an upcoming readathon. So I've read the first volume, and I've got 5 more to read. Next we have Can I Kiss You Every Day, and this has 4 volumes that I've picked up. I've read the first 2. Again, this has a step-sibling element to it, but is not the primary romance. The primary romance is a boy from our girl's past comes back into her life, and he's like, you're still here, I still love you. And so it's kind of all about them falling in love again. But of course, the stepbrother's not having it because he has a sister complex. Next we have Chihaya Furu. I've got the first 2 volumes of that one, and again, I've picked all of these up on sale, and I really enjoyed the first volume. This is definitely... We're starting with young children, and they're playing a particular card game. I forget the name of it. I'll leave it down here, but it's really interesting, and the art is really intriguing, so I really enjoy it. Next we have Kiss Him, Not Me. I've got the first 3 volumes of that one. So in this one we're dealing with a girl who's a complete otaku, and she's a heavier set girl. Something happens to one of her favorite characters in an anime, and she doesn't get out of bed for a week and magically wakes up thin and beautiful. You have to suspend disbelief there. Like, I'm not gonna go into the fat complex thing over all of that right now, but the story's fun. And I read the first volume, really enjoyed it, so I picked up the next 2. I'll continue to collect it digitally if I like it enough. And then we've got Living Room Matsunaga-san. This is an age gap romance, and I've read the first 3 volumes of this series. So we're dealing with a high school senior who ends up moving into her uncle's boarding house, and Matsunaga-san, it basically runs the house. So he kind of keeps everybody in order and whatnot, and he works from home, so he's home the most. So he's kind of the manager of the boarding house, and she starts to have feelings for him. He starts to have feelings for her. It's just cute. I think it's only 6 volumes long, or 5, something like that. It's not super long, but I've picked up the first 3 and I really enjoyed them. Next we have My Boyfriend in Orange. Again, this is another age gap romance. Are we sensing a trend here? But yes, My Boyfriend in Orange, so it's a girl and a firefighter. It's cute, it's fun, family's very involved, I just like it. Again, I picked up 6 volumes of this one. I've read the first one. Next we have Our Precious Conversations. This is by the same mangaka that does My Little Monster, and there were 2 volumes out of this right now. I've got them both. I really enjoyed it. I hope this gets a physical publish because, man, I eat it up. I love it. So we're dealing with kind of a tsundere-style guy, and then there's this girl who has the courage to confess to him, and he's like, well, isn't that selfish? You don't even know me. That's selfish of you to force your feelings on me. And so they start getting to know each other. It's really sweet. It's really fun. I really like it. And then we have Peach Heaven, which is a trashy obsession of mine. Peach Heaven is about a teenage girl who is forced to write erotica to support her family because her mother's in the hospital and her dad's dead. And the supermodel boy at her school ends up finding out because she stumbles upon him having a thing with the nurse. and she puts it in one of her books. And so he figures out exactly who it is and basically blackmails her to make him lunch so that he won't tell anybody. And it's funny. It's really cute. I really like it. I binged the whole series. It's 13 volumes. It's great. I really enjoyed it. And next we have Peach Mermaid, which is about a pervy mermaid. Yes, I know, it sounds weird. But it's a pervy mermaid who has had a spell cast on her to have legs so that she can have the sex, as she calls it, with this boy that she saw while she was, you know, in her mermaid form. And every time she gets aroused, the mermaid tail comes back, but she can't keep her human legs if she doesn't do it with this guy. So it's this really weird, bizarre thing. I've only read and purchased the first volume of this. I don't know if I'm going to get back to it because it's just so ridiculous. I don't know if I can keep wrapping my head around it, but it was really fun. If that sounds up your alley, definitely give it a try. But man, it's a trip. And then the last for the digital manga is Perfect World. You guys have heard me talk about Perfect World quite a bit, so I will leave my monthly otaku favorites where I talk a lot about Perfect World. It's about a disabled man and a girl from high school who comes back into his life as an adult after he's paralyzed, and kind of about their journey together. And it's beautiful. It's ups and downs. Nothing is romanticized. And I feel like it is so well done. I really want a physical publish for this series because I think it's so important. I think it will speak to a lot of people. So if you're interested in that at all, please go support it so that we can get a physical publish. So that is it for the digital portion of this haul. Oh man, guys, like, these big stacks. Yeah, it's a lot, guys. So let's just go ahead and dig right in here. I'm going to start with the stack where it's just kind of like one thing from the series, or it's a one-off on its own, unless it's oversized. The oversized stuff has a separate pile because that's the only way they'll stay somewhat organized. So first up, we've got the Water Dragon's Bride by Ray Toma. This is volume 8. Volume 9 comes out in April. You guys know I keep up with this publish. I'm obsessed with this series. I love it so much. I was looking for something when Ancient Magus Bride was kind of on hiatus, and this is one of the series that was recommended to me. I love and adore it. Definitely check out Water Dragon's Bride. Next is a light novel, and that is The Silver Yarn from the world of the Ancient Magus Bride. This is the second short story collection in this world. I'm really excited to dig back into this. I really dug the first one, so I'm really excited to pick up the second one. Next, we have the first omnibus of Maid-sama. I loved the anime for this, so I think I'm slowly going to collect the omnibuses as I find them on sale and just read it as well because I really enjoy the story. This is about a girl who goes to what was previously known as an all-boys school. She is the class president, and she works at a maid cafe. Popular guy at school finds out she works at the maid cafe, and she is trying to buy his silence, essentially. And it's really fun, full of shenanigans, perfect classic shoujo, really fun. I decided to pick up my first sports manga. I don't know, I was in a mood and I wanted to try it. So I picked up the first volume of Haikyuu. I have not read this yet, but I've heard nothing but good things about Haikyuu. Even my friends who don't really like most sports mangas end up really enjoying this one, so I thought this would be a good first try for me. So if I don't like the first volume, obviously I'm not going to continue, but I have a feeling I'm going to like it. So I'm really excited to try out a sports manga. Next we have another popular shonen title, and that is Dr. Stone Volume 1. I've heard nothing but good things about this series. All of my friends who have read it have really enjoyed it, I think except for one. And a lot of my friends who don't read a lot of shonen really enjoy this. It doesn't follow typical shonen tropes from what I hear, so I'm excited to give it a try. I don't read a lot of shonen. You know, I've read FMA and a couple other really popular shonens, but I've not read a ton of it, so I'm interested to see how I feel about Dr. Stone. I also really thought my husband would like this one, so I picked it up thinking he would like it as well. Next we have Caterpillar Girl and Bad Texture Boy. This was a really interesting read for me. I didn't end up really loving it, so I probably won't keep it on my shelf, because one, I'm running out of shelf space, and two, I do try to curate my shelves to make sure there are things I enjoy and would come back to. This was just okay. I wish I would have checked it out from the library, so I will probably donate it to my library so somebody else can enjoy it that way. Next, we have Aoharu Ride Volume 3. You guys know I love this series. I talk about it all the time. Volume 4 is coming out like next week. I'm so excited to keep going. Again, if you want to watch the anime for this, it is called Blue Spring Ride here in the US, and it's just a good shonen time. Or not shonen, shoujo time. And the art style is just beautiful. It's just one of my favorites. I really love it. Next, we have Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts Volume 4. Again, Volume 5 comes out in April, and I love the series. Again, this is another one that I stumbled onto when I was looking for more like the Ancient Magus Bride. Essentially, this is about a girl who's raised to be the sacrifice to the King of Beasts. Through circumstances, doesn't end up being the sacrifice, but ends up being his bride. It's really interesting. I quite like it. This 4th volume was super interesting, so I'm really excited to see where they take Volume 5. Next, we have Volume 3 of Shortcake Cake. Again, this is another boarding house shoujo style story that I am really enjoying right now, and I read this during 24-hour Manga Love. Really enjoyed it. I will be continuing on with the series as long as I continue to enjoy it. Next up, we have Omnibus, I'm not sure what number, but it contains volumes 19, 20, and 21 of Rurouni Kenshin. We'll wait till I can get the rest of the omnibuses on sale or used because I didn't know certain things about the mangaka when I started picking this up. Now that I know, I'm a little less comfortable buying them new, so I will continue to buy the rest used. And I still love Kenshin's story, so I still want to see it through to the end just because I love the story so much, but I will end up picking it up used. Next up, we have Wish, which is the entire series in this beautiful Dark Horse omnibus. This is about an angel who gets saved by a man named Kohaku. No, Shunichiro is his name. Kohaku is the angel's name. And it's about their time together because Kohaku wants to grant Shunichiro a wish, but he's like, my life is good. I don't need anything. So Kohaku's kind of stuck till he can grant his wish. And it's really cute. It's really fun. It moved me. I really liked it. So if that sounds interesting to you at all, this is a Clamp title. So also if you enjoy Clamp, I think you'll like this one. So it was a good time. I liked it. Next, we have Volume 4 of LDK. I am really continuing to love this story. This is about 2 high schoolers who end up essentially living together even though they were living next door to each other, and shenanigans, and it's just a good shoujo time, and I continue to love the story and the art style, so I will continue to pick these up as I find them on sale. Next up, we have Love in Focus by Yoko Nogiri. This is the same mangaka that does That Wolf Boy Is Mine, which you guys know I really enjoyed. This is her brand new series. His brand new series? I think it's a her. I don't remember. Anyways, it's their brand new series. We'll just go that route. I did a whole first impressions video about this, so I will leave that linked for you to check out. Next, we have Girl from the Other Side, Volume 6. I am continuing to love my journey in this story, and I am really invested in Teacher and Shiva's story. It's just a good time. I'm really interested. It's on the darker side, for sure, but I'm really invested in their story. I'm really excited to see where mangaka takes it. Now we have Volume 8 of Dream and Sun. You guys know I'm obsessed with this series. I talk about it all the time. This is the same mangaka that does Orange, and this is like Fruits Basket minus the paranormal, so it's a really good time. You guys, Volume 10 of The Ancient Magus Bride. I have a whole video where I talk about this. It does contain spoilers if you haven't watched the series, but again, that will be linked down below for you, so just know I loved it. Then we have Volume 4 of Your Lie in April. Again, this is one I'm continuing to collect as I find it on sale or as people gift it to me. This is about teenagers and music, and they're all musical prodigies, and it's lovely, and I just love it. The manga is beautiful. The anime is beautiful. I think you should consume both, and that's not often that I say that, but yes, highly recommend it. Next I have If It's For My Daughter, I'd Even Defeat a Demon Lord. This is about a little demon girl who's rescued by a human in a video game, and it's just their cute little adventures together, and I absolutely adore it, and it's just cute. Thanks to Otaku Mike for recommending it to me because it's a good time. Next we have Eden Zero Volume 2. This is the next series that Hiro Mashima, who does Fairy Tail, is working on. I'm really enjoying Eden Zero thus far, and it's more like sci-fi meets vlogger kind of style shonen, and it's a good time. I really like it. Next we have Waiting for Spring Volume 10. Again, another series you guys know I love. It's not ending anytime soon, I found out. I'm really excited about that. we're just caught up to the Japanese published, so we have to wait like 6 months in between volumes, which makes my heart hurt very, very much. But I will wait because the story is so good. I'm so invested in my boys, in my people. And yes, Team Toa forever. Next we have Behind the Scenes by Bisco Hattori. This was recommended to me by that manga kid, and I really enjoyed this first volume. It's a good time. This is Bisco Hattori, who did Ouran High School Host Club. So it has similar vibes. It's not exactly the same. This is about like kids who build like crew stages. It's like a stage crew kind of group of kids, and it's really fun. I really like it. Next we have Strobe Edge by Ayo Sakisaka. This was published before Ao Haru Ride, but it's the same mangaka, and I really enjoyed it. This is more of a love square, and that's a little annoying. So I want to continue, but I'm a little hesitant, so I'm gonna wait till I find it on sale. And only one volume at a time. And next we have Kimi ni Todoke Volume 1. This was recommended to me by Jen over at Shelf Space Fleeting for a particular video, and I had already watched the anime for this, and it's super adorable. I really enjoyed it. This is about two awkward teenagers falling in love, and it's just, it makes my heart happy, guys. It makes it happy. Stack one down, let's go. Things should go a little quicker now because we're gonna have a lot of series together. Alright, so next up we've got My Love Story Volume 1 and Volume 2. I watched the anime of this and loved it. It's a 13-volume series, so I've decided I want to go ahead and collect it because this is one that I would share with everybody. It's so sweet, it's so cute, and this is one I'll revisit all the time, so it's worth the investment to me. But again, this is going to be a slow investment, and as I find it on sale because I am already familiar with the story. Next up we have Volume 1 and Volume 2 for the case study of Vanitas. I have read Volume 1. I will be getting to Volume 2 soon. This is a vampire steampunk manga, and it's a good time. I really enjoyed this first volume a lot, and so I look forward to continuing on. Again, this is one that I'll pick up volume by volume, because could very easily turn into something that I wouldn't like. So this is when, again, it'll be a slow collect, volume by volume, and we'll see how I like it. I picked up the next 3 volumes in Kamisama Kiss. So we have Volume 5, Volume 6, and Volume 7. As you guys know, I really love the series. It's a good time. And this is one where I've watched the anime. I know I love the story. And I wonder if it continues on after the anime ends. I believe it does. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. Correct me in the comments if you know for sure. But I did really enjoy it, so I want to slowly collect it as I find it on sale. Are we sensing a trend? I will collect it if it's on sale. Alright, next up we have Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Asmus Beelzebub Likes. I really enjoyed this first volume. This is about Miss Beelzebub, obviously, who lives in the underworld, and her adorable assistant, who is drawn to Beelzebub even though he feels like he shouldn't, and he feels like a babysitter sometimes. It's really just fun shenanigans. It's a good time. Definitely check it out. Next up, I have the first 4 volumes of a series, and that is Honey So Sweet. This is an adorable shoujo series. Again, it's teenagers who met as kids, and the boy's just a cinnamon roll even though he looks rough around the edges, and it's just great. So there's Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. I really think Nao and Taiga are adorable. I really just enjoy their story. So I am excited to continue on. I've read the first 2, and I have the other 2 that I just got today, actually. So now I have the first 5 volumes of Everyone's Getting Married. I have read the first 2 here. So there's 1 and 2. And then I just got 3, 4, and 5 today. And this is about 2 grown adults. This is a josei series. The girl really wants to get married. The man has no interest in marriage, but they're dating anyway. So it's really interesting to watch the ups and downs of their relationship as they work together. And it's really interesting. I really enjoy this series. Again, this came on the recommendation. I think it was Simply G. I know I'm not the only one who's read this, and lots of people out there have recommended it to me. So I've really enjoyed it so far, so I recommend picking it up. And now I have the first 6 volumes of Say I Love You. So I've got Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, and Volume 6. So I have not read Volumes 5 and 6 yet, but I have read these 4. Again, I've watched the anime for this and I really enjoyed the story, so I'm excited to continue on and see if there's more after the anime ended. And again, it's a slow collect. So next up, I picked up the Erika Sakurazawa box set, essentially, or just, you know, the gift set or whatever that is available on Right Stuff. If it's still available, I will leave it linked down below. But we have The Rules of Love, Nothing But Loving You, Between the Sheets, Angel, and The Aromatic Bitters. I think Angel is probably my favorite out of all of these. There is a sequel to Angel that I have not read yet. I just need to pick it up. And Erika Sakurazawa is an amazing mangaka. Like, I love her art style. And her stories are very human. Most of them do not have happy endings. They just kind of end. It's kind of slice of life where you're just getting a glimpse of these people's lives. They are josei. They do have smexy scenes. So if that's not your scene, I think Angel's the only one where there isn't really much, if any. But the rest of them do, for sure. Yeah, this one doesn't have the explicit, so there's not. Definitely be wary of that if you're worried about that. But yes, Erika Sakurazawa is brilliant. I really like her art style. And next we have the complete series of Astra Lost in Space. So we have Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, and Volume 5. So this is about kids who essentially go to like a school camp where they're supposed to kind of survive on a planet for a week. And it's supposed to be kind of like a vacation, but they end up getting transported into deep space, and the adventure goes from there. They're all connected. There's a lot going on in the story. It's fun. It was a good time. I will revisit this story. My husband didn't love it as much as I did, but I think it's a good time, and I will revisit it after I forget some of the bigger details. Now, I don't remember if it's just 1 volume or 2 volumes on this one, so I'm hauling both. So I have Volume 8 and Volume 9 of Overlord. I'm continuing to collect Overlord as it comes out. I really enjoy it. This is about a villainous overlord in a video game. It's just a good time. And again on this one, I don't know if I'm only supposed to haul 1 or both, so I'm hauling both. And that is Volume 4 and Volume 5 of Katsu Haru. This is an adorable shoujo romance in which we're following the boy's perspective primarily, and I really enjoy it. The boy is kind of a playa, but he ends up getting decked by this girl and he's immediately intrigued by her. It's good shenanigans. Light Song, what are you doing? Alright, next up we have an age gap romance that was recommended to me, and that is Dengeki Daisy. This is an older series. I believe it's complete. And so we have Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. I have only read this first volume, but I really enjoyed it. So we've got a girl whose brother passed away, and shortly before his passing, it seems like it was a terminal kind of thing or an accident. I'm not 100% sure. But he hands her this phone and says, you have to talk to Daisy. Daisy will be there for you since I can't be. And while she's at school, she ends up throwing a ball through a window and the janitor catches her. And so she has to work for the janitor to work all of that off. So she's texting Daisy about all of this. What she doesn't know is that the janitor is Daisy. And it's really interesting. I really love it. There's a hacking element to it. It's just a fun time. So I'm excited to keep going and see if I continue to love it or not. Next up we have Horomia. We've got volumes 1, 2, and 3. I have read all 3 of these. I thoroughly enjoyed them. Horomia is definitely one. I understand why everybody loves the first part of this series. I've heard a little bit later on it doesn't follow our main Horomia couple, and so people don't enjoy it as well. So I'm gonna keep slowly collecting as long as I enjoy it. Next up is a fun little 2-volume series, and that is Kenka Bunco, or Bancho Otome, Loves Battle Royale. So this is based on a video game. It's a battle style video game, but they turned it into an otome game where there's a girl who's headed to her first day of school. She ends up stumbling into her long-lost twin brother and trading places where he goes to her all-girls school and she goes to his all-boys battle school. It's really interesting. It's really fun because his dad's like a mob boss, I think. And it's just a really fun time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's just fun shenanigans. So if you're looking for something fun and short, definitely check this one out. We have Kakuryu, Bed and Breakfast for Spirits, volumes 1 and 2. I know there's an anime out for this, but I haven't watched it yet. This is like, it's a lot like Kamisama Kiss, but it's its own weird little thing, but I end up really enjoying this. It's kind of isekai. It's like, yeah, that's what it would be. It's Kamisama Kiss meets isekai. That's what this is. That's the easiest way to describe this. And isekai is like a modern day person being transported into a fantastical world, for those of you who aren't in the know of that terminology. But yes, Kakiryo, Bed and Breakfast for Spirits. I'm really enjoying it. These have each gotten 4 stars from me. So they're not top tier, but they're really good. And so I'll slowly collect them as they come out until I don't like it anymore. Next we have Volume 2 of Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. I really enjoyed Volume 1, so I'm slowly going to collect and continue this series. I believe Volume 6 publishes next month, but I've only got these first 2 so far because I haven't read Volume 2 yet. But I still keep up on when things publish, so I know how far behind I am. But yes, I'm still really enjoying this. It's fun shenanigans. I like it. No, I have read this. I just haven't picked up Volume 3 yet. That's what it is. Alright, so obviously I liked the first volume of this series because I went and collected the next 7 volumes of it, and that is The Demon Prince of Momochi House. So I have Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, and Volume 8. So I've really enjoyed the series thus far. I've read the first 4 volumes, and it's been a good fun time. So I'm excited to continue on. It's not a long series. It's almost finished publishing. So I'm just going to slowly collect it. I've got a bit to read before I will be picking up anymore. But yes, it's a good time. I'm enjoying it. Alright, this next stack is like my latest guilty pleasure. This is 16 volumes of a series. And that series is Yona of the Dawn. I am now obsessed with Yona of the Dawn. It is like my new favorite thing right now. I've fallen down a Yona of the Dawn rabbit hole. It's really hard for me to not just binge everything, but I've read almost all of it. So we've got Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, which I think is my favorite cover. I think it's so super cute. Volume 7, Volume 8, Volume 9, Volume 10. This is a really cute cover too, so I quite like Volume 10. Volume 11, which is everything I've read to this point. We'll see how I feel when I wrap things up if I've read any more. But then here's Volume 12, Volume 13, Volume 14. No, that's the back. Volume 14 right there. Volume 15, and Volume 16. And Volume 17 does come out in April. So Yona of the Dawn is about a 16-year-old princess who goes to tell her father that she's in love with her cousin. And what she walks in on is her cousin running through her father with a sword. And so she is now on the run from this cousin that she was in love with. And the captain of the guard, who's been like one of her best friends her entire life, obviously has her back. And it's just, it's so good. It's so good. I have a whole video where I kind of gushed about it. If that's up already, I'll link it down below. If not, I will try to link it when it's up. But yes, Yona of the Dawn is my new manga obsession currently. So you'll probably hear about Yona of the Dawn quite a bit. We are now on to the last stack, which is the oversized stack. So let's just dig in. So first up, we have the next 3 volumes Into Your Eternity. So we have Volume 6, Volume 7, and Volume 8. I continue to be invested in Fushi's journey and everything that's going on with him. So if you have not picked up this series, I strongly recommend that you do. The art style is beautiful. It's just so great. My husband doesn't love it as much as I do, if I'm honest. He tends to find it too emotional, but the way Volume 8 ended made me really excited for Volume 9. So keep that in mind. Another series that is a current running obsession. I have a few of those in my manga collection right now, and that is Tokyo Terror Reva Girls. You guys knew this was coming, so we have Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, and Volume 5, with Volume 6 publishing in April. So many publishes in April. I'm so in trouble. Yes, Tokyo Terror Reva Girl is about 3 women in their 30s, kind of muddying through love. That's the easiest way to describe what's going on without giving away major spoilers. So essentially, the goal for these women is to be married by the time the 2020 Olympics comes along. So I'm really excited to see where mangaka takes this story because I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Next up, I picked up the next 3 volumes of Silver Spoon by Himaru Arakawa, who also does Full Metal Alchemist. So we have Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. This is about a kid attending an agricultural high school, even though he doesn't necessarily have agricultural aspirations. It's really interesting. I thoroughly enjoy it. Next, we have a new series that I started on the recommendation of Simply G, and that is a Braid Story. So I've got Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. This is a seinen age gap romance where we're dealing with a 12-year-old groom and a 20-year-old bride. And essentially, the bride's family has decided that they want to marry her off into a different family, but the groom's family, for obvious reasons, is not having that. And I really enjoyed the first volume. I just got these volumes 2 and 3 today, so I'm really excited to see how this story continues and to see if I continue to love it. Next, we have a fun little side story here, and that's Full Metal Alchemist Complete 4-panel comics. So these are just a bunch of fun little shenanigans with our Full Metal Alchemist friends, and I think it's just going to be a fun time. So I will probably pick this up during the readathon that's going on later in April. It's Bazaar's 24-hour one. It's a sibling-based one. So I think that the Elric brothers would be a good fit for that. Next up, we have one that I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep or not. I still have the receipt, so I might actually end up taking this one back, and that is Golden Kamui Volume 1. This is much more violent than I originally thought it was going to be, and I don't know how I feel about that at the moment. So let me know in the comments down below if it's going to be worth it or if you think I'm going to like be traumatized by reading this. So yes, let me know in the comments down below what you think I should do with Golden Kamui. So now we have Rousay Yatsura, I think is what I want to say. It's by Rumiko Takahashi. And this is about an alien princess. Yes. So she comes to Earth in her UFO and the story goes from there. I don't want to read too much into it. I want to go into it a little bit blind. I've heard really good things, and the art looks super cute, a little bit retro, but cute, and so I'm really excited to give it a chance. Next up, we have Oh My Sweet Alien, which is a one-shot recommended to me by Base Jalarin. This is about a cute little alien wife and her human husband, and their adventures through life. It's definitely slice of life. It's just cute and fun. It's not anything groundbreaking or earth-shattering, but I think it's really fun and really kind of funny because her cute little alien self has a human skin that she'll put on when she goes out in public. It's hilarious. I really enjoyed it. So I would recommend picking it up, but do know that there is an explicit warning on it because the way the alien is drawn is you do see her boobs. So if that's going to bug you, just know that. And then we have again Volume 4. This is a story that I continue to love and adore, and I will continue to collect as long as I continue to enjoy it. And then we've got a light novel, which is Woof Woof's Story. I told you to turn me into a pampered pooch, not Fenrir. So this is about a man who literally works himself to death. He dies in his office, and he says as he's dying, maybe it would be nice to be reincarnated as a dog. And so he thinks he's going to be reincarnated as this pampered puppy, and he is a giant wolf named Fenrir. And he's like king of the wolves, and it's super interesting. It's really fun and sweet. I heard there's going to be a manga adaptation coming out of it, so I don't know if I'm going to continue to collect the light novels. I might just wait for the manga, because I think it will be better seen in the manga, better understood and better enjoyed in a manga format, so we'll see. I'm on the fence. Next, we have Delicious in Dungeon Volume 1. This was recommended to me by my buddy Bazaar over at Bazaar Individual, and I really enjoyed this first volume. I keep going to my bookstore, they keep not having Volume 2, and I just keep forgetting to order it. So I will continue as soon as I remember to order Volume 2. So next we have Welcome to the Ballroom Volume 1. Again, this is a series where I just keep forgetting to order the sequel, but I really enjoyed it. I think the art style for me, it's definitely more masculine, and there are parts of it that are overly busy for me. I did read another shoujo ballroom dancing series, and it's not nearly as busy, but I really like where they're going with the story in this one, so I'm invested. I do want to continue. 2 more volumes, guys. 2 more volumes. We're almost done. So we have Land of the Lustrous, Volume 1. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep going in this series. I think I want to reread this one before I decide or not, because I think I was just kind of in a weird mood when I read this one, and I didn't end up enjoying it as much as I thought I would. So I want to read this one more time to decide if I'm going to continue or let this one go. So this was recommended to me by Lindsay Tutt, and it wasn't bad by any means. It just wasn't my favorite, and I don't know if I want to continue. So I'm going to reread it and decide and let you guys know. And last but not least is Volume 11 of Sweetness and Lightning. The finale is coming out in the next quarter, and it's going to be Volume 12. And the story will be finished. And I'm a little bit sad, but I'm ready for it at the same time. This 11th volume did a really good job of setting you up for the conclusion of this story. Our high schooler at this point has graduated from school, so I am really excited to see how things pan out and to see what happens with Tsumugi and her dad. So I'm really excited. So I think it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to the last volume. I promise to let you know my thoughts on the whole series when I finish. So friends, like 40 plus minutes later, that is the end of my manga haul. I know it was excessive. I don't think I'll let it get this excessive ever again. I'm really going to try to rein it in better. I got a little obsessed with a couple of series, as you could see. So yes, I have a lot to read through before I end up buying too much more. So the good thing for most of this is I have read almost all of it. I've read a good chunk of it. I only have a small stack that I haven't read yet. So I feel pretty good about that at least. So thanks again for watching this video, guys. You guys are amazing, and I will see you guys soon.